Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Gaelic Studies 11. So today's class is just going to be a bit of a repeat of yesterday. We're just going to go back over very quickly some of the ideas and the history of the Gaelic people and the Gaelic language that we talked about yesterday. If at any point you have any questions, feel free to jot them down. That way, once we're done the PowerPoint, we can just pick right up on the questions and then move into today's activity. So today's class is going to be in sort of a two-part section. The first part that we're going to do is we're going to run through this PowerPoint and the recap that I mentioned previously. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to do an art activity that will be explained later on in the PowerPoint. So the first thing that we're going to reiterate here is the history of the Gaelic language. The Celts were a well-known group of people who had a specific culture and language, and they lived mostly in Western Europe. So the map you see on the PowerPoint here, that's of the United Kingdom. Currently, Celtic languages are not that widely spoken, and they are limited to select places. So some of the places are Wales, Cornwall, Scotland, France's Peninsula of Brittany, Patagonia, and Cape Breton Island. So as we talked about yesterday a little bit more in depth, the name Nova Scotia is actually Latin for New Scotland, and it was first given to this part of America in 1621. Now, just so you know, you don't have to write these things down. They are available after the handout, or after the PowerPoint. I'm going to give you a handout so you will be able to have these things. So the Celtic people, they didn't come in large numbers and establish permanent communities until about 1773. It wasn't until the later part of the 1700s where they really started to come and cultivate the land and set up permanent residences here. So, as we talked about a lot more in depth yesterday, Gaelic culture has a huge part in our province. The areas that you see highlighted on this map actually show where the focus of Gaelic people and Gaelic language can be found currently. This was from a census back in 2006, so it's 7 years old now, but it's still fairly relevant. So the little stars here, one shows you Antigonish, which is up closer to Cape Breton, and then the other one is Parsborough. And so these are just showing the areas where there was the most settlement.